Fit Farm Chick here. Don't know if you can see me or not, but either way. So we've been making a whole bunch of these little cactus, if you can see. And they're going to be for something you'll see in the future. But either way, Sean had some leftover filament to finish off on a roll. So he said, I'm going to make a bigger one. Well, he made a bigger one. Very lightweight, very cool. So I'm going to paint it today. Just had this one out to show you the size. Got a bunch of different shades of green here. I'm one of those people who likes to use more than one color to do some type of texture here. So actually, what I want to do first so that I can hold it later is I'm going to go ahead and get the terracotta on here so that it can dry, because I'm going to do like a gold wash over the terracotta. And the thing is, the first bit, you know what? I don't even have a bowl. What's wrong with me here? I forgot to get bowls for my paint. It's raining here in Naples. It's been quite blah, as one would say. So basically I'm just doing a nice light general coat all over. I could have brought my little fan in to speed up the drying process, but it's going to be okay. And I will get stuff on my hands, but that's okay. I like to cover every bit of it. Really good. Just glop it on, spread it out. And it's crazy. We never knew in the beginning how easy it was if we had to prime stuff, because we definitely saw people mentioning that you had to prime things that you 3D printed before you painted them. But I'm just using these basic craft paints you can get anywhere. And they seem to create that primer base, I guess, the first coat, because I never do just one coat of anything. That's not me. I'm never happy with one color, so I always like to add something else, texture and stuff. Alright, so you got your basic there. And there's a little lip here that's going to look like the pot, so I like to go over and go ahead. I'm going to get in there and paint the sand also, but I'll do that later. Who knows, I might add rocks in there with a little glue to hold them in. Or I might just do sand, but we'll see how it plays out. But I definitely like to get that lip in there. And there you've got your nice little terracotta pot. This is washable. It's awesome silicone mat that Sean got me so I don't mess up the granite out there. But I moved into my craft room today to do this. It's so pleasant in here. So that's going to sit there and dry. This little guy is going to sit in here. And so what I was going to do is I like to do a flat or matte color for the base of something, and then I like to do a wash over it with something with like a little sparkle or a little metallic. And so I'm going to go ahead and use this darker green. We used some of this chartreuse on these little guys. This is a metallic one. Color Shift, if you've never used these are awesome. But you really don't see it without a second coat. So these Color Shift ones, you really got to do a second coat. So I'm going to go ahead, get my green going. Maybe it'll dry if I drink some coffee. I have Eeyore in here. So it's like 60 and a constant drizzle, which is just weird for this time of year to have this much rain. But we got it. And it's 2 days straight. And they said, oh, all day Sunday would be raining. But it started yesterday afternoon pretty early. And it has continued. Alright, so here we go. I like to get a little water. It's okay. It's got a little color from the other. It's okay. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to get started on the green. Start with the top. You see how it's so light for the first coat. Also, this filament that he used has a really nice shiny texture to it. I hate covering it up actually, because it really is pretty all by itself. But the shine seems to make things I've painted before, seems to make it necessary to definitely do a second coat. So I made up this little, not a New Year's resolution, but a New Year's challenge. Since I'm pretty much addicted to crafting of all different types, I started a new one just before Christmas. Macrame. I'd done it when I was a kid briefly. I had an awesome babysitter who had taught me the basic knots and ties and stuff, and then I did some weird thing. Oh, you can see my stuff here. But I really enjoy it. I feel like I'm really like spacing out, meditating or whatever. I really consider it my therapy right now. I just calm down and I really forget about the stresses and stuff going on. And on another note, I did get diagnosed with MS at the end of last year. Most of you who know me know that I have Lyme disease as well. And what happened was I finally, because I'm a veteran, I got my original MRIs 2.5 years ago through the VA. And it took 2.5 years for a neurologist to look at my MRIs and come up with that diagnosis. Also, my symptoms, which a lot of people don't realize how similar MS, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, MS, Lyme disease, chronic fatigue. There's so many, and lupus. There's other illnesses out there that are very similar. Originally, I was diagnosed with mercury poisoning, thanks to Howard Stern for Sean listening in, and Howard was having an issue with something. Well, I was vegetarian and I had put too much fish back in. I put tuna. I got really excited at making tuna in so many cool different ways. Tasted good to have that protein when I was training for my half Ironman. And I got a little crazy with it. I would have tuna fish sandwiches at lunch, and then I would make tuna however many ways I could think of. Stir fry, whatever, for dinner. It was nice to have all that protein instead of just beans all the time. You get kind of sick, and I wasn't big on soy. Soy's always made me feel kind of sick. So, with that being said, I went ahead and ate all this stuff, but I had issues with memory. I had all sorts of issues, lots of symptoms that were similar to mercury poisoning. They ran a blood test at the VA, and they found that my levels for the mercury poisoning were so high that I feel like it was like the EPA. Somebody called to. They asked if they could come out and look at where we live to verify that we are not living in a toxic area that's contaminated with mercury. And once I explained to her that it was fish, she held off the inspection of the premises. She didn't even come out. She's like, oh, I've heard of that one. So she let it go. And so I did this crazy Andrew Cutler protocol. It wasn't crazy. It was just, if it makes you feel better, it's not crazy, right? That doesn't go for everything. But it was a lot of, I'm not into taking pills. So I was more into doing all these supplements and really vitamins and stuff. And it's crazy, but usually it's just, we're all so deficient in so many things. So I did this Andrew Cutler protocol as like my detox. You see I'm painting the sand. And it helped significantly. Along with that, I also started going to a chiropractor, and I went for 5 months. I went 3 times a week, and I wasn't a big chiropractor person. I lived for some good acupuncture, but I wasn't so big on the chiropractor thing. But this specific chiropractor, Thrive Chiropractic here in Naples, definitely made a difference for me. So I'm very grateful. So getting the spine in alignment, I truly believe spine health, it affects your entire body. I have believed that for a while, but because I feel better, when I'm doing my certain exercises and stuff, when I'm consistent with that stuff, I just feel so much better. And I learned how to stand better or sit better or how to hold myself better, and it makes such a big difference. So I'm done with my sand. And if you look quickly, it looks like it's done, right? Now, anybody else would be like, yeah, that's fine, it's done. But like, it's a little white here. So I want something a little deeper, you know. I might actually go, no, I'm gonna stick with that one, but I'm gonna mix in a little bit of the metallic for the second coat. I'm gonna get, isn't that pretty? So pretty. I love all these metallics. All right, let's pour it in. All right. It's raining outside. What the heck am I supposed to do, right? So I finally got me some little hangers for the macrame, because I was literally tying things to whatever I could find around the house, and nothing would give support. So I saw a couple people use these, and I thought, oh my god, that's great. Went to Walmart and got this one and another one. And they have wheels, so we can watch a movie and I can macrame. So back to the whole diagnosis. When they spoke to me about MS, they actually said, most of my problems are in my hands, like as far as functioning in life. I've lost the strength in my hands for sure. And Sean printed me, he's been so good, he printed this little device that helps me open our almond milk containers, our egg white containers, all those things like that. It's got a little bottle opener. It's got a little thing that you can put under the can opener, you know, when you're, so you don't break your nails. Not that I care about mine, but really sweet that he made that for me, but it has helped me tremendously. I can do all of this. I have arm strength, but I don't have specific finger strength. Like I would lose in a thumb wrestle fight for sure. So you can see here, it's doing a second coat. It's getting darker. That metallic is kind of working good with the other stuff. I like to lay it on kind of thick. See, now if you go up this way, there's all those different spots that you miss by pulling it straight up. So technically, if those areas were hit by something lighter, then they would continue to have a little more light to them. And so you'd have a little more depth to the actual thing you're painting. So, pretty easy. This is therapy. I feel great right now. I've got my Veda CBD oil in me, and I'm crafting on a rainy day. Okay, this is pretty. I am liking that color. So watch as I do this. See how light it is? You go up, and you're only hitting certain parts. So there's little bits that are left behind that are going to be a little lighter. And if you really want to make it crazy, you can go and work it in. I like to make sure every bit of it. I don't want a drop of paint, you know, a blob of paint anywhere. I like the variation here, like going through here. You can get a little light going, a little heavier there. And there. I know I might have taken too much there. I'll do the top of it. Try to get a pattern going so it doesn't look like it's plastic, but that's good so far. I'm gonna let that dry, then I'm gonna come back and finish it up and do the next coat on this, because this has to be covered with this little copper stuff, so it gives it this nice little shine to the bottom of it. I'll be back. Alright, so very dry. Feels good. The terracotta is pretty. all by itself, but I'm going to put a little gold sheen over it to make it look nice, because I like a little sparkle on things. So I'm just going to, see, it just really makes it just a little more sparkly and iridescent. This champagne color here. I was going to do the copper, but I really like this. A little sparkle. Just enough to give it a little shine. Still see the texture of the, like the pattern in the pot that Sean made. Very geometric little triangles. And again, if I think that's too light, but I don't, I actually like that. I like that a lot. Got a little more gold in here. That should be enough. Now the rain just started falling harder. While I let that dry, I went out and fed the chickens, the baby chicks, a little more food. Because, you know, you get bigger, you eat more. So, I've been having to refill their food midday when I get home from teaching a few classes. I have to check it now because they definitely eat all that I have left there from the morning. Alright, so I just want to make sure it's uniform all the way around. Not worried about the bottom. But now I want to get that top part, the lip, I want that to also, oh, it might be a little spot of something. So just brushing to get that ledge. Just a little bit of sparkle. And if you feel it's too much, the great thing is take a paper towel and you wipe it down. It goes right off. And if you really don't like it mess up, you can like rinse it in the sink and like hose it down and start fresh. I'm gonna eat with the green on my fingers because I did wash my hands on that little break. That the green is not dry yet, and that's okay. It's alright. Because go like, ooh, I bet you I got green on it. I didn't, because there's green. Alright, so you can take a nice little paper towel and pat it dry. And it gives like a little texture, but look at that. Boom. Boom. Need be. Oh, there you go. If you feel like something is too much, boom, boom, boom. It's good stuff. I like it. I want to make it a little perfect down on bottom. So I'm going to go ahead with a smaller brush with that green and make sure I get a nice line. Wet it. Just to make it. Because cactus are very, very geometric, very modern plants, I would say. I love cactus. I like a modern design. I like, but not space age modern. I think I like mostly modern design with soft, fluffy things thrown in to make it feel comfortable. I like clean lines. Alright, so if I feel that it needs a little, just add texture. You don't get every single one. I'll see up top, I feel like. Then I was thinking you could do every other one a little bit darker. This it's gonna be the final coat. That's it. Just getting in and out, flicking back and forth. I make a lot of sound effects. I'm gonna try to hold off on that. Don't scare anybody away. I already talked too much as it is. But back to the whole MS thing. Supposedly I should be doing as much as I can with my hands to just keep them working. And I gotta tell you, the macrame is helping me. And my hands get tired. I was doing something on the big vinyl cutter yesterday, and you have to weed, and that means you're pulling out the tiny pieces of vinyl to reveal the cut that you made. Like, you had this machine cut a certain pattern. It could be a mandala, something intricate like that. Mine was pretty intricate. I did this tribal type kind of thing, and there's always lots of little spaces and little pieces to pull out so you can see it. So I'm going to go around, look at anything that looks a little light, go a little more specific. Got to touch the spikes. The lines look good. Little divots. Make sure there's nothing that looks like a pool of paint. Don't want that, because I don't think a cactus would have that much. A little extra there. Going around. Okay. Alright. So, but I think it's done. This hand is clean. It feels pretty dry. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in close so you can see. Little shine, different light will look better. Looks like sand in there. I might add some little rocks later to make it look like a real plant, but really pretty. Like it. Came out nice. Didn't take long at all. 3D printer on a rainy day. Fit Farm Chick out.